I'm Priya Sharma, 36, the founder of Horizon Innovations. After years of relentless effort building my company from the ground up, I was thrilled to attend my brother Arjun's wedding in Mumbai, India. Despite our rocky relationship, I hoped this would mark a new beginning. Little did I know that my 300 crore contract with my future brother-in-law's firm would spark a family confrontation when I discovered where they planned for me to sit. What would you do if your own family treated you as if you didn't exist? I was about to show them just how undeniable my presence could be. Before I dive into this story, I'd love to know where you're listening from today. Drop your location in the comments below. Hit that like button, and if you're new here, subscribe to hear more stories about standing up for yourself when it counts most. Now, let me take you back to how this all started. Growing up in Bandra, Mumbai, Arjun and I were close as kids. Just 2 years apart, we spent monsoons splashing in puddles and Diwali evenings lighting firecrackers on Juhu beach. Our mother, Lakshmi, would pack us identical tiffins with aloo parathas. And our father, Vikram, taught us both to play cricket in our building's courtyard during summer holidays. Those early memories were warm, vibrant, carefree. The shift came quietly when we hit secondary school. Arjun joined the cricket team, following our father's passion. I leaned into coding and the school's tech club. Our parents never missed Arjun's matches, cheering loudly with neighbors from the stands. My tech expos and hackathons? They'd often have a last-minute conflict or show up late, missing my demos entirely. Sports builds character, my father would say, ruffling Arjun's hair. All that tech stuff is just a phase, Priya. You'll move on. I didn't move on. Instead, I earned a scholarship to IIT Bombay while Arjun attended our father's alma mater on a sports quota. During family gatherings at our ancestral home in Pune, conversations centered on Arjun's cricket stats and college escapades. My academic wins got polite smiles before someone shifted to cricket or local gossip. After graduating, I worked grueling 80-hour weeks at a tech startup in Bengaluru, soaking up every lesson about the industry. Meanwhile, Arjun joined Sharma Builders, the family business my grandfather founded and my father grew. Arjun was handed a senior role straight away, despite a mediocre business degree. It's about real-world grit, not just grades, my mother explained when I questioned the fairness at a rare family dinner. Arjun gets how things actually work. At 28, I took the biggest leap of my life. I drained my savings, secured a loan, and launched Horizon Innovations. The first 2 years were brutal. My tiny flat in Bengaluru doubled as my office, with a foldable cot in the corner. Vada pav and chai became my staples as I funneled every rupee into the business. When I called home, talks were short. I'm worried, beta, my mother would say. There's always a spot at your father's company if this doesn't pan out. They never offered to invest, never asked about my vision, never believed I could make it on my own. Then came the breakthrough. Horizon created a cutting-edge logistics software that caught the eye of major firms. Suddenly, I was hiring talent, moving into a proper office in Koramangala, and fielding calls from investors who'd once ghosted me. It was during this rise that Arjun met Kavya Mehra at a charity gala in Delhi. Kavya was the only daughter of Ravi Mehra, owner of Mehra Ventures, a massive real estate empire worth thousands of crores. Their romance was whirlwind, trips to Goa, weekend getaways to Dubai. My parents were over the moon. Ravi's taken a liking to Arjun, my mother gushed during a call. He's connecting him with industry giants. This could elevate Sharma Builders to new heights. The irony wasn't lost on me. My business milestones were brushed off as a quirky side project, while Arjun's relationship was hailed as a masterstroke. 6 months in, Arjun and Kavya got engaged. The Mehra and Sharma families blended their social worlds, with my parents suddenly attending elite club events in South Mumbai they'd once called Choi. Meanwhile, through unrelated channels, Mehra Ventures was hunting for a tech solution to their complex logistics challenges. Their operations head, Anjali Desai, Discovered Horizon at a tech summit in Hyderabad where I'd showcased our software. She had no clue about the family tie when she reached out. After months of demos, audits, and talks, Mera Ventures signed a 300 crore contract with Horizon Innovations. It was our biggest deal ever, paving the way for global expansion and new product lines. I mentioned the contract to my parents during a call, hoping for a spark of pride. "That's nice, Beta," my mother said. "Did you get the invite to Arjun and Kavya's engagement party?" "It's at the Mera estate in Alibag. Ravi has a private beach." 2 weeks later, at the engagement bash, I met Ravi Mera. He was sharp, impeccably suited, with the easy confidence of someone used to commanding any room. "So, you're the genius behind Horizon," he said, gripping my hand firmly. "Your team's pitch floored our tech division. Anjali says your software will save us crores in year one." "Thank you, Mr. Mera. We're thrilled about the partnership. Call me Ravi. We must do dinner soon. I'd love your take on where tech's headed in our sector." Before I could reply, my mother swooped in, eyes wide. "You two know each other?" she asked. "Just met," I said. "Ravi was kind enough to praise our software." "Your software?" Ravi's brows shot up. "Wait, Sharma, you're Arjun's sister?" He never mentioned his sister runs Horizon Innovations. An awkward silence fell. My mother laughed nervously. "Oh, Priya's always been our tech whiz," she said, as if explaining a child's odd hobby. "Arjun's more into construction, like his father." Ravi looked puzzled but recovered quickly. "Well, brilliance clearly runs in the family, just in different lanes. What a happy coincidence." It wasn't a coincidence that Arjun never mentioned my company to his future father-in-law. It was intentional. My success didn't fit the image he'd crafted as the family's star. Despite this, I clung to hope that Arjun's wedding might shift things. Maybe the clear proof of my success via the Mera contract would finally earn me the respect I'd fought for. I spent weeks picking the perfect outfit, a sleek, emerald green sari that balanced elegance and authority. I even asked Rohan Kapoor, a respected angel investor I'd been dating for 3 months, to join me. "Sure you want me there?" Rohan asked over dinner the week prior. "From what you shared about your family, it sounds intense." "That's why I need you," I admitted. "Having someone who gets me will keep me grounded." The night before the wedding, I called Arjun to connect before the chaos. "Hey, just wanted to say I'm so happy for you," I said. "Can't wait for tomorrow." "Thanks, sis," he replied, distracted. "It's wild here. Kavya's glued to the planner, and Ravi keeps adding VIPs to the guest list. Need any help?" "Nah, we're good." A pause. "Listen, about the seating, yeah?" "Nothing. Just, we had to shuffle things last minute with the extra guests. It's sorted now. See you tomorrow." A flicker of unease hit me, but I brushed it off. Tomorrow would be different. Tomorrow, I'd finally be seen. The Mera estate in Alibag was a sprawling paradise, lush gardens, a private beach, and views of the Arabian Sea. The driveway was a parade of luxury cars, each shinier than the last. Rohan let out a low whistle as we arrived in my electric SUV. "You didn't mention it'd be this grand," he said, adjusting his Shawani. "I didn't know," I admitted. "First time here too." A valet in a crisp uniform opened my door. "Welcome to the Mera Sharma wedding, ma'am." The mansion was a blend of colonial charm and modern opulence, with marble arches and glass walls. A sitar ensemble played softly by a lotus pond, where guests in lengas and sherwanis mingled, holding flutes of champagne. White lotuses and marigolds draped every surface, their scent mingling with the sea breeze. "Priya!" My mother's voice cut through the chatter. She approached in a peach sari she'd mentioned buying for the occasion on 3 separate calls. "You're here. And who's this?" "Ma, this is Rohan Kapoor." "Rohan, my mother, Lakshmi Sharma." Rohan offered a warm smile. "Pleasure to meet you, Mrs. Sharma." You have a wonderful family. Thank you, she replied, sizing him up before turning to me. Your father's by the bar with Ravi and some investors. Come say hello. She turned, expecting us to follow. She seems sweet, Rohan whispered, teasing. Just wait, I murmured back. My father stood with a group of men in silk kurtas, laughing at something Ravi Mehra said. When he saw me, his smile dipped briefly before recovering. There's my girl, he said, giving me a quick hug. And who's this? After introducing Rohan, I turned to Ravi, who greeted me with more warmth than my father. Priya, the star of the show! I was just telling these gentlemen how your software's transforming our logistics. 3 months in, and we're already seeing gains. The men in the circle eyed me with fresh interest. Your Behind Horizon system? Asked an older man with a Gujarati accent. Ravi can't stop raving about it. Says it's slashing logistics costs. Before I could reply, my father cleared his throat. Well, Priya's always been good with computers. Arjun's the one who connected her with Ravi, you know? Always looking out for his little sister. The lie hung heavy. Ravi's brows lifted slightly. But he stayed silent. Actually, I began, but was cut off by the bride's arrival. Kavya Mehra glided toward us in a gold lehenga, her hair adorned with jasmine and diamonds that sparkled in the sunlight. Priya, you made it, she said, air-kissing my cheeks. And in green, how practical! Her eyes flicked over my sari with a faint smirk. Though I thought I mentioned family was in pastels for the photos. You didn't, I said evenly. But congratulations, Kavya. It's stunning. Daddy spared no expense. She beamed, linking her arm with Ravi's. Arjun's with his groomsmen. The ceremony's in 30 minutes. Her gaze landed on Rohan with sudden interest. And who's this? After introductions, Kavya's demeanor warmed. Rohan Kapoor of Sky Ventures? Daddy's mentioned your firm. You must join us at the family table for the reception. Rohan's hand rested on my back. Thank you, but I'll be with Priya. Of course. Kavya's smile tightened. Speaking of, I need to check the seating chart. So many last-minute changes. As she floated off, Rohan leaned in. Did the vibe just get frosty? The ceremony was lavish but detached, with a renowned pundit, a Bollywood singer, and vows that felt scripted for Instagram. Arjun looked dashing but tense in his sherwani, barely meeting Kavya's eyes during the pharas. Afterward, guests were ushered to a massive shamiana on the lawn for the reception. Crystal chandeliers glowed over tables draped in silk, with towering centerpieces of orchids and roses. Let's find our seats, I said to Rohan, scanning for a seating chart. A frazzled planner with a tablet stood at the entrance. When I gave my name, she frowned, scrolling repeatedly. Sharma. Sharma. That's odd. Let me check another list. Dread crept in as she kept searching. Here we are. Priya Sharma +1. You're at Z. Her professional mask slipped, showing unease. Is there an issue? Rohan asked. No issue. One moment. She hurried off, returning with an older woman who introduced herself as the catering manager. Miss Sharma, there's been a mix-up with the seating, she said quietly. The main tables are full now. I RSVP'd 2 months ago, I replied. I'm the groom's sister. She nodded apologetically. Yes, we understand. We've arranged alternate seating for you and your guest. Alternate seating? Rohan echoed. Follow me, please. Instead of guiding us to the main area, she led us through a side door, down a corridor, away from the celebration's buzz. She opened a door to the kitchen, where staff in black kurtas hustled with trays of biryani and paneer tikka. In a corner sat a small table with 2 chairs, hastily draped in a white cloth. You can't be serious, I said, heat rising to my face. I'm so sorry for the inconvenience, the manager said, avoiding my gaze. The bride made last-minute changes to accommodate key business contacts. I am a business contact, I pointed out. Mara Ventures signed a 300 crore contract with my company. She looked confused. I wasn't informed. I'm just following orders. Before she could continue, Kavya appeared, champagne in hand, her eyes gleaming with smug satisfaction. Problem? She asked, her tone syrupy. Yes, I said, struggling to stay calm. You've seated me and my guest in the kitchen. I'm your husband's sister. Kavya sipped her drink slowly. We had to prioritize Priya. Daddy's associates and our close friends needed the prime tables. You understand. I don't, I countered. And Arjun would be upset to know his sister's in the kitchen. A cold glint crossed Kavya's eyes. Arjun approved the seating this morning. He knows exactly where everyone is. The betrayal stung like a slap. My own brother had signed off on this humiliation. This is unacceptable, Rohan said firmly. We'll join the main reception. Kavya's mask slipped, revealing contempt. The help sits in the kitchen, she sneered. You should feel at home, given your modest roots. The manager looked mortified, retreating. Kitchen staff paused, awkwardly pretending not to hear. In that moment, decades of being sidelined, ignored, and now openly insulted crystallized into clarity. I wouldn't make a scene. I wouldn't stoop to Kavya's level. But I was done accepting less. Rohan, I said softly, I need a moment alone. Can you wait outside? He squeezed my hand. Take your time. I'm right here. After they left, I stood in the chaotic kitchen, invisible to my family yet behind a multi-crore contract benefiting the very people who couldn't spare me a seat. I knew what I had to do. The women's restroom was empty. I locked myself in a stall, leaned against the door, and let tears of humiliation fall, muffling my sobs so no one would hear. How had I fooled myself into thinking this wedding would change things? That my success would earn me a place in my own family? The pattern was glaring now, years of dismissal and favoritism. I remembered my 16th birthday, forgotten because Arjun had a state cricket tournament. They'd grabbed a cake from a local bakery 3 days later, candles sinking into soft icing as they gushed about Arjun's century. My IIT graduation, where I was top of my class, my parents arrived late, missing my speech because Arjun's college fest ran long. They brought him to my celebratory dinner, where he dominated with stories of his startup internship. The day I signed the lease for Horizon's first office, I called home, bursting with pride, only to hear they were busy planning a party for Arjun's promotion at Sharma Builders, a role tailor-made for him. Even today, on what should have been a joyous family moment, I was hidden away, deemed unfit for the important tables despite my achievements. A soft knock on the door snapped me out of my thoughts. Priya, it's Rohan. You okay? I wiped my eyes, took a deep breath, and stepped out. Rohan stood there, concern on his face, holding 2 glasses of lassi. Thought you might need this, he said, handing me one. I took a sip gratefully. Sorry you're seeing this family mess. He leaned against the wall. Don't apologize. I'm getting a clear picture of what you've dealt with forever. And yet I still came, still hoping for, what? Acceptance, respect, the basic decency any person deserves, I said. Rohan nodded. Those aren't unreasonable asks, Priya. I sipped my lassi, thinking. The thing is, I don't need their approval anymore. I built Horizon without their help. I have a team that respects me, clients who value my work, and friends who see the real me. I glanced at him. I have you. You do. He smiled. So, what's the plan? We can leave, grab some chaat, maybe catch a late show. Pretend this wedding never happened. My phone buzzed. It was Anjali Desai from Mara Ventures. I should take this, I said, straightening. It's Mara's operations head. Rohan stepped back for privacy. Priya, just confirming our meeting next week for Phase 2 rollout, Anjali said. Also, The first 300 crore payment processed this morning, right on time. As she talked tech details, it hit me. I wasn't powerless. I built something even Ravi Mehra couldn't ignore. I couldn't change my family, but I could control how I responded. Anjali, can I call back in 20 minutes? I'm at the Mehra Sharma wedding. Oh, didn't know you were there. Enjoy. We'll talk Monday. I turned to Rohan, who eyed me curiously. What's on your mind? I've spent my life hoping my family would see my worth. I said calm now. But it's time I saw it myself and acted like it. Meaning? I smoothed my sari, checked my reflection, and wiped the last tear streaks. It means I'm not hiding in the kitchen like I'm ashamed. I'm walking back into that reception with my head high. And I'm making a business call based on how I've been treated, not family ties. Rohan's eyes widened. The Mehra contract. Exactly. Ravi wants my software's benefits, but his daughter and my brother think I belong with the staff. That's not a partnership I want. You sure? It's 300 crores. I exhaled, calculating. Yes. It was huge, but Horizon had diversified. Losing it would sting, not sink us. The message it sent was worth more. I've never been sure, I said. I deserve better, personally and professionally. Rohan grinned. I'm with you, whatever you decide. We walked back to the Shamiana, my mind clear, my purpose set. For the first time that day, I felt peace, not from plotting revenge, but from valuing myself enough to draw a line, even with family. Outside the tent, I paused, watching Arjun and Kavya mingle with guests. They stopped at the main table, where Ravi sat with elite-looking men in designer kurtas, clinking glasses in a toast. That's where I should be, I said quietly. Not as Arjun's sister, but as the CEO of a company Mehra Ventures needs. Then let's make sure they know who they shoved in the kitchen. Rohan replied, offering his arm. With my head high and my choice made, I stepped back in, no longer chasing approval, but ready to demand the respect I'd earned. The reception was buzzing when we returned. A Qawwali group performed on a stage, while staff wove through with trays of kebabs and mocktails. Crystal and silver sparkled under chandeliers, and chatter mixed with laughter. No one noticed us re-enter, fitting for those who'd tried to erase me. I scanned until I spotted the main table, Ravi, Arjun, Kavya, and key business contacts. They're discussing a merger, Rohan whispered. I recognize Vikram Patel from Coastal Realty. If he's here, Ravi's planning a big expansion. Perfect timing, I said, squaring my shoulders. Shall we? We crossed the room, pausing as strangers congratulated me on my brother's gorgeous wedding. I thanked them politely, moving toward the main table. Ravi was mid-pitch, combining Sharma Builders for residential projects while Mehra Ventures focuses on commercial. Arjun will lead the transition. With our new software, we expect 20% efficiency gains in year one. Arjun nodded eagerly, thrilled to be center stage. Kavya sat beside him, her hand on his arm, surveying the room like a queen. They didn't see me until I stood at the table. Ravi noticed first, his face shifting from surprise to unease. Priya, he said, sitting straighter. We're discussing business. Something about software that might interest you. Yes, I heard, I said calmly. You're talking about my company's software, the one your team sought out because it's the best. Arjun's smile wavered. Priya, maybe later? We're in the middle of something. I see, I said. Using your wedding to close deals while seating your sister in the kitchen. Efficient. Silence fell. The businessmen shifted awkwardly. It was a seating mix-up, Kavya snapped. Happens at big events. Does it? I replied. Odd how the mix-up put the CEO of a 300 crore contract in the kitchen while business prospects got prime seats. Ravi's face darkened. 300 crores? What's this, Priya? Your company signed with Horizon Innovations 3 months ago. I'm the founder and CEO. That software you're touting? That's mine. Ravi turned to Arjun, shocked. You never said your sister runs Horizon? Arjun squirmed. It didn't seem relevant. Not relevant? I echoed. You didn't think it mattered that your sister's company was behind the tech your father-in-law invested crores in? This isn't the time, Kavya hissed. You're causing a scene at our wedding. I pulled out my phone, movement steady. You're right. This isn't a debate. It's a decision. I dialed a contact, locking eyes with Arjun as it rang. Sanjay, it's Priya Sharma. Cancel the 300 crore contract with Mera Ventures. Effective immediately. Arjun paled, speechless. Ravi half stood, confusion turning to anger. Priya, what are you doing? I raised a finger. Continuing. Yes, I know the stakes. No, this isn't a bluff. Have legal draft the termination papers. I'll sign Monday. Kavya's composure cracked. You can't. Daddy's rolled out your system across our projects. I ended the call, pocketing my phone. I can and I have. Horizon doesn't work with firms that show such poor judgment and disrespect. This is ridiculous. Ravi sputtered. You're tanking a multi-crore deal over a seat? No, Mr. Mehra. I'm ending it because that seat showed your organization's true colors. If this is how you treat a CEO you think is just a sister, I doubt you'll honor our partnership when bigger issues arise. The businessmen watched, reassessing me and the Mehra Sharma alliance. Arjun, Ravi growled. Did you know her company was ours? Arjun swallowed. I knew she had a tech firm. I didn't connect it to yours. That's a lie, I said quietly. Anjali told me she mentioned our family link to you 3 weeks ago. Arjun's face betrayed him. Ravi's expression hardened. We need to talk. Now. Privately. He grabbed Arjun's arm. Kavya stood. Fuming. You're ruining everything. This wedding cost 20 crores, and you're making it a corporate fight. No, Kavya. You ruined it when you decided I wasn't worthy of my own family's table. I stayed composed, refusing to match her outburst. As Ravi led Arjun away, Kavya trailing, Rohan touched my back. That was the slickest takedown I've ever seen. He whispered. I smiled genuinely for the first time that day. Let's go. I'm craving real food, at a proper table. As we turned, several businessmen approached, business cards in hand. Ms. Sharma, Vikram Patel. Coastal Realty. I'd love to explore what Horizon offers. Another stepped up. Amit Desai, Apex Capital. I've tracked your growth. Can we meet next week? The very contacts Ravi and Arjun were wooing now sought me. I felt no glee, just clarity. This wasn't about revenge, but standing for my company's worth. I took their cards politely. My assistant will arrange meetings. For now, I need to leave. As we exited, raised voices echoed from where Ravi had taken Arjun. The perfect wedding was fraying, not because of me, but their choices long before I arrived. At the valet stand, my phone rang repeatedly. I silenced it, knowing who it was. The valet brought my SUV, eyes wide. Sweet ride, he said. Thanks. I replied, tipping well. Comes with building your own empire, not leaning on family. Rohan chuckled as he got in. A tad petty? Just a bit. I grinned. I've earned it. Before I could drive off, my father appeared, jogging toward us, his cour to ask you. Priya, stop right there. I sighed, rolling down the window, engine running. Yes, Papa? He reached the car. Panting. What are you doing? Ravi's furious. Arjun's wedding is a mess. Your mother's crying. All because you couldn't handle a seating glitch? A glitch? They put me in the kitchen, Papa. Deliberately. Kavya said so. So what? It's their wedding. You sit where you're told. That's basic respect. Instead, you made it about your ego. Rohan leaned forward. Sir, with respect. Your daughter runs a top-tier tech firm Mara Ventures sought out. She deserves better than today's treatment. My father glared. And who are you to lecture me on my daughter? Papa. This is Rohan Kapoor. He's with me, and he's right. This wasn't ego. It's about respect I've rarely gotten from this family. Respect? He shouted. You talk respect after canceling a contract with your brother's father-in-law? You've jeopardized Arjun's role in Ravi's next project. There it was, the real issue. Not me, not the wedding. But Arjun's ladder climbing, always prioritized over my self-made path. I'm sorry if this affects Arjun's deals, I said, unapologetic. But I have to protect Horizon and my reputation. Mara Ventures doesn't get to use my tech while treating me like an outsider. Fix it, he demanded. Call them. Say it was a mistake, that you were upset. I won't, I said firmly. This only proves I was right. My mother appeared, her makeup streaked. Priya, please. Arjun's heartbroken. Can't you see what you're doing to us? What I'm doing? I laughed bitterly. I've been ignored my whole life by this family. I built Horizon without your support. The first time I stand up, I'm the villain? That's not fair. We've always been proud of you, she insisted. Really? Name one time you've celebrated my wins like you do Arjun's. Her silence spoke volumes. Guests had gathered, watching the drama. My cousin Neha, who'd seen the kitchen incident, gave me a discreet nod. We should talk later, I said, eyeing the crowd. When tempers cool. Nothing to talk about, my father said coldly. You've chosen against Arjun and Ravi, against family. No, Papa. I chose my worth. There's a difference. Before he could reply, Arjun approached, his sherwani rumpled, face pale, with Kavya and Ravi behind. Priya, what the hell? His voice broke. Ravi's threatening to pull all business from Sharma Builders. That could tank Dad's company. I'm sorry, Arjun. That wasn't my goal. But it's the outcome, he yelled, unraveling. You couldn't just sit quietly for one day. You had to flaunt your precious tech firm. Rohan tensed, but I touched his arm, signaling I'd handle it. My precious firm is worth over 2,000 crores. Arjun. It employs 65 people and, until an hour ago, powered Mara Ventures. I didn't flaunt. I made a choice based on your treatment. Undo it, he demanded. Call and say it was a mistake. It wasn't, I said calmly. I won't fake it to save your deal. Kavya shoved past. This is your fault, she screeched. You've ruined my dream wedding over a stupid table. Kavya, enough. Ravi cut in sharply. He approached, his face unreadable. Miss Sharma, there's been a grave miscommunication. No miscommunication, I said. Your daughter made my place clear. He glanced at Kavya, who looked briefly ashamed. Still, we should talk privately, as professionals. This contract matters, and ending it abruptly has consequences. I know the consequences, I replied. My decision stands. Ravi's calm cracked. You're throwing away 300 crores over a seat? I'm walking away from disrespect. The money's secondary. A flicker of respect crossed his face before he hit it. My legal team will contact yours for termination. My team will ensure a smooth handover, I said. I don't want your operations to suffer. This professionalism enraged Kavya further. Daddy, you can't let her. She's sabotaging us out of jealousy. Ravi turned sharply. Kavya, you've done enough. Go inside and tend to our guests. As Kavya stormed off with my parents, Ravi leaned closer. For what it's worth, I didn't know about the seating. I'd have stepped in. Thank you, I said. But it doesn't change my choice. He nodded. I disagree business-wise, but I respect your stance. He offered his hand. Good day, Miss Sharma. I shook it briefly, then drove off. Arjun stood in the driveway stunned, as we left. That was heavy, Rohan said as we hit the main road. You okay? I exhaled, tension easing. Honestly, I feel lighter than ever. Like I've shed a burden I didn't know I carried. The need for their approval, Rohan said. Exactly. I glanced back at the fading estate. I spent years proving myself to people who never see my value. Today, I saw it myself. What's next? He asked. Besides finding a spot with killer food and real tables. I laughed, a free, easy sound. We rebuild. Horizon's fine without Mara. We have other clients, new prospects. And something I never fully had. What's that? Self-respect, I said. Turns out, it's worth more than 300 crores. The first email hit at 6:43 a.m. Monday. By 8. When I reached Horizon's Bengaluru office, my inbox had 17 messages from Mara Ventures execs, from apologies to please. Anjali Desai sent 3, each more urgent. Good morning, Mira. I greeted my assistant. Seen the email chaos? Mira nodded, worried. Non-stop since I got here. Anjali's called twice, sounding frazzled. Ravi Mehra called 5 minutes ago. Asking when you're free. Book Anjali for 10 o'clock. Tell Ravi I'm in meetings all day but can talk tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow? Mira's brows rose. He seemed desperate. I'm sure, I said. But I need to prep our transition plan first. I just settled at my desk when Sanjay Patel, our COO, leaned in my doorway, curious yet concerned. So, what went down at Arjun's wedding to make you ditch our biggest contract? I motioned for him to shut the door. Long story, but short version, Mehra Ventures, especially the Mehra family, showed they don't respect me or Horizon. We don't do business with those who undervalue us. Sanjay whistled. Some wedding. You sure about this? I recounted the kitchen incident and confrontation. He nodded grimly. Not shocked, given your family stories. But it fits. Now we move forward, I said. Mehra was 22% of our yearly revenue. We need to cover that. On it, Sanjay said. Westfield Partners, from last month's demo, they're close to signing. Not Mehra level, but it'll cushion the hit. Let's also fast-track Europe. Their market's ripe, and without Mehra, we can redirect resources. Mira buzzed in. Vikram Patel from Coastal Realty on line 1. Says it's about a contract. Sanjay and I exchanged looks. From the wedding? Stay, I told Sanjay. Hitting speaker. Mr. Patel, Priya Sharma. Ms. Sharma, thanks for taking my call. After meeting at the wedding, I dug into Horizon Innovations. I'm impressed. And I think Coastal could use your logistics system. I kept my tone professional. Thank you, Mr. Patel. We'd love to arrange a demo. One more thing, he said. I heard about your split with Mehra. We were eyeing a partnership with them, but after Saturday, I'm rethinking their fit for our culture. Sanjay's eyes widened. I hid a smile. I can't speak to Mehra's culture. But Horizon values respect and professionalism. Your handling of the situation showed that, Patel said. My assistant will coordinate a demo. Look forward to it. After hanging up, Sanjay grinned. What exactly happened at this wedding? Let's just say it left a mark, I replied. By lunch, the contract cancellation had spread through Horizon. My senior team didn't pry into personal details, focusing instead on solutions. My 10 o'clock call with Anjali was tough but civil. She was upset about losing a system her team had spent months integrating. But her frustration seemed aimed at the situation, not me. For what it's worth, she said, I only learned about the seating from Ravi this morning. It was wrong. I appreciate that, Anjali. This isn't about your team's work, you've been great partners. Any chance to fix this? New terms? Some lines can't be uncrossed, I said. But we'll ensure a smooth transition to your next system. At 3 o'clock, an unknown number called my personal phone. I answered. Priya Sharma speaking. Priya, it's Anju Sharma, your aunt, your father's sister. I froze. Aunt Anju had been estranged for 20 years over some vague feud with my father. Aunt Anju? How'd you get my number? I have my ways, she said, amused. I've followed your success with Horizon from afar. Not surprised, you were always the sharp one. Thank you, but why call now? I heard about Arjun's wedding, she said. Word spreads in elite circles, and the Mehras are connected. I'm proud of you for standing up to the Sharma tradition of favoring the son over the innovator. What do you mean? She sighed. Why do you think I cut ties with your father? Same story, different era. I built a fashion brand in the 80s when women weren't taken seriously in business. Your grandfather and father called it a hobby and gave Sharma Builders to your father, though I'd worked there since I was a teen. The parallels hit hard. I had no idea, I admitted. Papa never explained. Of course not. It didn't suit his story. But your stand broke a family cycle. We talked for an hour, Anju sharing her journey and family history. We planned dinner the next week, a reconnection that felt both sudden and fated. The afternoon brought more surprises. Amit Desai from Apex Capital called, proposing a contract for their logistics and a potential investment in Horizon for European expansion. Your handling of Mehra showed the principled leadership we seek, he said. Walking away from the wrong partner can be more valuable than gaining a new one. By 5 o'clock, I tasked legal with Mehra's termination papers while exploring 3 new client leads from the wedding. The irony was stark. As I prepared to leave, Arjun texted. Need to talk, just us. Lunch tomorrow, Luciano's on 5th? I hesitated. He was still my brother. I wasn't after peace. But I'd hear him out. Okay. 1 p.m. Just us. His reply was instant. Thanks. Driving home, I marveled at the day's unexpected turns. Instead of scrambling, we were fielding stronger partnerships. Valuing myself had made others value Horizon more. Rohan called as I cooked dinner. Mehra imploded without your software yet? He teased. Not yet, but Anjali was near panic this morning, I said. Then shared the calls from Patel, Desai, Anju, and Arjun's lunch request. It's like standing up for myself opened a new reality where people respect boundaries. Maybe, Rohan said. This is just what happens when you stop settling for less. His words lingered. Maybe this wasn't a new reality, just the result of owning my worth. Ravi's email arrived near midnight, requesting a meeting for mutually beneficial solutions. I flagged it but didn't reply. Whatever came next would be on my terms. For the first time professionally, I felt anchored in my value. Free from seeking validation or fearing disapproval. It was powerful, this clarity. And it took a wedding seating chart to make it real. Weeks later, I sat with Anjali Desai at Luciano's. The same spot where I'd met Arjun for our tense lunch. That talk had been raw, but this one with Anjali was warm, almost collegial. The switch to a new system's rough, Anjali admitted, stirring her masala chai. Between us, Ravi regrets how this went. The replacement software's lagging, and they can't match Horizon's features. I'm sorry, I said sincerely. Your team worked hard. It's tough to restart. She set her spoon down. That's why I wanted to meet. Off record, Ravi's too proud to approach you again, but the execs agree we erred letting Horizon go. This tied to a meeting 2 weeks post-wedding, when Ravi had requested a private talk at his office to salvage the contract. I'd agreed but held firm. Ms. Sharma, he'd said, balancing authority and conciliation. There's a path forward that benefits us both. Mr. Mehra, the termination's done. Papers are processed. A new contract then, with better terms. Replacing your system's proving harder than expected. This isn't about terms, I said. It's about disrespect, from your daughter, my brother, and by extension your firm. I work with partners who value horizon, not those who seat us in the kitchen. Ravi had paused. I understand more than you think. I built Mera Ventures from one small plot my father left. For years I was sidelined, seated at back tables, cut from deals. Only leverage changed that. Then you'd get why I can't continue. I'd said. You know why walking away preserves integrity. Respect flickered in his eyes. Your brother doesn't deserve you. And my daughter's actions were indefensible. I've made that clear to both. That was our last direct talk until Anjali's outreach. What are you proposing? I asked Anjali now. A full reset, she said. New contract, new terms, new contacts in our team. Ravi's ready to apologize formally in writing for the wedding and address Arjun and Kavya's roles. She hesitated. That's trickier. They're facing marital adjustments. Kavya's out of company matters for now. This matched Arjun's lunch confession. After the initial blame, he'd admitted the wedding exposed cracks in his marriage. Kavya changed the seating. He'd said, eyes down. She was jealous of your success. Said it made me look lesser. I knew it was wrong but didn't stop her. And that's better? I'd asked. You knew and let it happen? No. It's worse, he'd said. I've spent years propping up my image as the family star. Your success threatened that. It was easier to downplay you than admit you outshone me. His candor had been a shock, more meaningful than any sorry. It wasn't instant healing, but a crack in our broken dynamic. I'll think about it, I told Anjali. Horizon signed new contracts. We're not where we were when we joined Mera. I get it. She nodded. But I hope you'll consider. Our teams meshed well technically. I promised a reply within the week and walked her out. Our handshake feeling more real than any prior Mera interaction. That evening, Rohan and I sat on my balcony, the Bengaluru skyline twinkling, sharing wine as I shared Anjali's offer. You considering it? He asked. Not sure. Financially, it's smart for Horizon. But there's value in holding boundaries. What's your team say? Sanjay's for it. With tight contract terms and higher fees. Mira says pass. Focus on clients who came to us for our integrity. Rohan nodded. And what does Priya Sharma, who stopped accepting less, think? I smiled. She thinks the choice must come from strength, not insecurity or spite. If we take Mera back, it's for Horizon's gain, not validation or fear of losing a big name. That's the CEO I admire. Rohan said, toasting. The past month had shifted things. My bond with Antanju grew into a true friendship, her insights as a Sharma woman in a male-driven field grounding me. Her stories about my father's youth clarified his biases. My parents, too, had started a cautious reconciliation. Post-wedding shock, my mother called subdued. I've thought about what you said at the wedding, about us not celebrating you like Arjun. I didn't want to believe it, but you're right. I'm sorry. It wasn't a full fix, but a step. The biggest change was in me. The wedding's pain had broken my cycle of chasing approval from those unwilling to give it. I no longer judged my success by Arjun's or my parents' metrics. This clarity fueled bolder decisions at Horizon and a deeper bond with Rohan. I'd also launched Visible, a mentorship for women tech entrepreneurs facing family or social barriers. The first 20 men's stories echoed mine, and guiding them healed my own scars. What still floors me, I told Rohan as the city glowed, is how one stand rippled outward. That's change, he said. Not grand gestures, but one person shifting the path just enough for a new pattern. A text from Arjun arrived. Dad wants family dinner next week. Says it's important. You in? I showed Rohan. What do you think? You've earned the right to set terms, he said. Go if you want or don't. You're choosing from strength now. I replied. I'll come. But I'm bringing Rohan. He matters to me. Arjun texted back. Of course. Mom and Dad will love to know him better. It wasn't perfect. Family scars lingered, the Mara issue hung open, and Arjun and Kavya grappled with their fractured start. But I was navigating it all on my terms, unbound by others' expectations. In the end, this wasn't about a seating chart or a cancelled contract. It was about knowing my value isn't set by others' placement, but where I choose to stand. What about you? Have you ever stood up to family who didn't see your worth? Or walked away from disrespect? Share your story below. The toughest boundaries are often with those closest, but as I learned, they're the most transformative. Like this if it hit home. Subscribe for more stories of owning your power, and share with someone who needs a nudge to know their worth. Thanks for listening. Remember, you deserve a seat at the table. And the power to walk away if others don't see it.